Castlevania Season 4, it is here, it is binged, it is great, and I am sad. Fair warning, this review will have major spoilers, all of them actually, so if you haven't watched the show yet, turn this off because I will ruin your day. As mentioned in my trailer analysis, this is the last season, which I vehemently disagree with. This show hasn't been canceled because it ran its course. It was canceled for reasons pertaining to allegations made against the head writer. And if you want to know more about that, I'd suggest you Google it. That's not what this video is for. I felt like leading into Season 4, Castlevania was just getting its bearings. Season 1 was barely a season, it had just 4 episodes, and even Season 2 expanding to 8 episodes, it still felt short. So that's why I'm sad. I stand by that this is top 5 anime of the last decade, and we definitely could have gotten more character and world expansion with what had already been introduced. It's unfortunate to see it end so soon. Even with Netflix toying with the idea of a spin-off series, that doesn't even seem necessary, especially with how they ended this season. They literally could have just kept it going, but anyways, enough of the complaining, let's get down to the review. Season 4 started off with kind of a slow burn plot-wise. There were tons of battles, but I wanted more plot progress. I'm thrilled about how it ended, but the lead up felt a little lackluster in my opinion. With long monologues between Isaac and his night creatures and then a 5-week recap of what Belmont and Sypha were up to between present day and the events that ended Season 3, I could have done without that. I felt like those sort of things took up a lot of precious airtime, especially knowing that the series was coming to an end. They did manage to maintain their playful yet dark tone that they perfected over these last 3 seasons. Lots of violence, lots of swearing, and lots of humor. We see Belmont's bad habits are rubbing off on Sypha in the form of cussing, and Alucard in the form of Trevor's willingness to help people. Gotta love it. Also the visuals, which is one of my favorite things about this show. Their creative directors really deserve a bonus for that. I had this thought specifically during the brief scene where the night creatures are coming through the void, and when Camilla is fighting them. It really puts you in the scene with how they directed this, specifically being at the castle and watching that void open. Absolutely terrifying. Now, all right, we need to go through character and season surprises, and I'm going to do that at the same time since a lot of it goes hand in hand. I did not see most of the surprises coming. That might be because I didn't play the games, but from what I understand, they didn't fully follow the games, just in some places. Never in a million years did I think that if Hector and Isaac came face to face, that they'd both walk away alive. And not just alive, but friends. They even make a new pact and Isaac trusts him with his knife so that Hector can do a really selfless thing and cut his finger off, which didn't even seem necessary for a number of reasons. 1, Hector's creatures played a small part compared to Isaac's, and 2, Lenore and Hector were on good terms the whole season. Couldn't she just remove the ring? But regardless, loved them becoming comrades again. It was also kind of a surprise with Hector becoming a badass and concocting his own plan after seasons of being a pawn in other people's games. That was amazing to see. Speaking of Lenore, the writers went and ripped my still beating heart out of my chest when they decided to kill her. I don't care if she put Hector in a sex ring prison. I wanted them to end up together. I thought Hector deserved a happy ending, like a truly happy ending, walk off into the sunset type of thing after the colossal beating he took for the past few seasons. I was a little let down by that, but who knows? Maybe Lenore comes back because apparently death isn't final and nothing matters. I am, of course, talking about the very ending of the show, foreshadowing. Also foreshadowing, how do I want to do this? You can foreshadow having my videos in your feed by subscribing. Anyways, Camilla died as violently as possible. Thank God, not a fan of her, but a huge fan of the way she died. The best fight sequence of the season, in my opinion. Now, probably the biggest surprise to me was Saint Germain going from the lovable, witty scholar of Season 3 to the catalyst of death and destruction in Season 4. Another big twist, and they pulled it off so well because his motivators were so believable. Searching for his love and trying to pull her from hell and slaughtering like 1 million people to do so. A nice dark addition to the story ending, I think. Again, as I don't play the games, I didn't know any of his backstory, so this was all new to me. Now we have Death, the character. We knew he was going to be introduced somehow, didn't know how exactly, but I think they did it well. Making a character that we were introduced to in earlier episodes turn out to be Death was great. Again, didn't see it coming, and that's what you want. When a show is predictable, it's boring, and Castlevania is anything but boring. For the character himself, I don't have too much to say. The dialogue was questionable at best, but a hell of a visual. Very scary character, great motivator for his actions, and great backstory. We got him for like 2 episodes, so you can't call Death the highlight of the show, just another nice addition. Death brings us to Trevor Belmont, who, in a really emotional, professing his love for Sypha moment, sacrificed himself to defeat death, which was somehow only overlooked by him coming back from the dead. I knew it. I said in the trailer analysis that I predict him and Sypha get their happy ending, and when he died, I thought, there's no way. He was a pillar of this show. But regardless, they did it well. Resurrections can be complete shit sometimes. They feel like a cop-out if not properly introduced, but of course this show has spent a lot of time building up to the idea of characters coming back through the infinite corridor. I've got to wrap this up, it's getting too long, but some honorable mentions. I loved the reunion of these three in the castle. It felt like home again, and they play off of each other so well. I also really love what they did with Dracula and Lisa, actually. This show does an amazing job of making you root for many different people's happiness, and the fact that they get to build a new life after the way they both died is a positive in my book. Same with Alucard. They left it to where he's probably getting the happy ending as well. No innuendo intended and no negative thoughts here. Glad they're bringing this to a close with some nice events. Now, as far as spin-offs go, first off, if these two are the ones that get a spin-off, I'm gonna lose my shit. Probably the least two interesting characters of the show. I don't know and I don't care about them in the game, but in the show, they could have died violently and it wouldn't have made a difference to me. But we do find out Sypha is pregnant. A lot of people are already speculating that the spinoff will revolve around their kid, which I think would be great. If it doesn't and we get to see some other characters that already exist, I'd watch 10 seasons of the adventures of Hector and Isaac. I cannot get enough of them, especially if Lenore comes back. But that's all, folks. I'm going to rate this season as an 8.8 and the show as a whole is a 9.1. I think the best season was season 3, but season 4 was certainly no letdown. Be sure to like and subscribe, new videos every week. Thank you for watching.